If I have a quarrel, well, I do have a quarrel, about the literal interpretation of texts, fundamentalism, I have a quarrel about people who think that the book of Genesis is literally true. And my argument to dealing with that is, 150 years ago, people living in Britain might think that was the only account of creation. But we now know that societies all around the world each have their own account. Each has felt the necessity to explain why it is that they, human beings, are here. Now, all these accounts differ. If you go to Thailand, they believe there was, in the first beginning of creation, there was a sea of milk, there was a huge snake in it, and there were demons pulling it and churning it, and when the curds came out, they told the human being. If you go to the Aboriginals, they believe that the human beings were coughed up by a giant snake which became a rainbow in the sky. You can produce hundreds of them. How are you to choose them? Which is correct? If you say, I'm only going to believe the one that my mother told me when I was brought up at my mother's knee, and I'm not going to question anything else, well, then that's up to you. But if you take a more general view and say, OK, you can't all be right, there is actually an answer which you can look in the rocks and the animals themselves. And the interesting thing about that is that it's all the same. No matter where you come from, whether you're an Australian or Aboriginal or European or whatever, then that's the one I go for. I can't help thinking of when I have, for example, taken off the top of a termite hill, and I've seen termites in there, all busying about building walls, looking after the queen, caring for the pupae, clearing the nest, all busy about it. Then they're all blind, and they haven't the faintest idea that I am there watching what they're doing, because they don't have those sense organisms which would allow them to know that. And I do sometimes feel that maybe I'm lacking in some sense organ, and I don't know whether there's anybody else involved in all this sort of thing. And it's a very confident thing to say that I'm absolutely sure that there's nothing in this world that I don't have the sense organs to appreciate. That would be my position.